Hi, I'm Dave from boyinaband.com, and today I'll be showing you how to get your head around the chorus effects block on your XFX. The term chorus means more than one voice at once, and a guitar chorus is a type of modulation effect that combines a dry signal with a signal that is pitch shifted slightly. This signal that has had effects applied to it is called the wet signal, therefore giving the impression that multiple guitars are playing at once, in unison. Think Kurt Cobain's tone on Come As You Are or every Pink Floyd song ever. The XFX Ultra also features a quad chorus effect where 4 independent chorus units are modulated by 4 separate low-frequency oscillators or LFOs. I'll explain about these later. So let's get started. Move to the bypass setting, the last one in the list of presets. And now, before we create the chorus effect, I'll create a simple amp and cab block. Press Layout to go to the layout screen, and move in a few, just in case you want to add any blocks later on, just before the amp. And scroll till you find the amp, should be the first one, and press Enter to select it. Okay, press Edit to edit the amp, and make sure you're on Type, move with the nav buttons if need be. And now, I'm going to change the amp setting. There we go, blackface, that'll do. We'll stick with the presets here. This tone is not too distinctive to detract from the chorus effects we'll be playing with, but it'll give us that subtle drive we're looking for. Check it out. Nice. Press the layout button to go back to the layout screen, press right to move after the amp, and scroll to the cab block. It's the second one, cabinet, and press Enter to select it. Press Edit, and let's change it from mono high res to stereo. This just widens the stereo image of the patch. We'll leave the cabinet on the default settings. Now, let's try and recreate the Come As You Are Navona tone to show you what chorus can do. Click Layout, and scroll to the next block, then turn the value knob to the chorus effect, and press Enter to select it. Press Edit to open it up. The first knob, Voices, gives you a choice of 2, 4, 6, or 8 voices used in the chorus effect. 2 of course being the most subtle choice and 8 being very prominent. We're going to go with 6 this time round. A little heavy on the effect for my taste, but let's give this chorus a really in-your-face 80s and early 90s tone. Use the nav buttons to move to the next knob in the list. This is the rate knob. The rate knob controls the frequency of the LFO. For those of you wondering, LFO isn't referring to the vastly underrated boy band from the 90s, but instead a low-frequency oscillator, which is an electronic signal that creates a rhythmic pulse modulating something. In this case, modulating the pitch of the wet signal. So, lower settings will have slower moving sounds. On higher settings, will have more of a vibrato effect. Turning the rate completely to 0 syncs the LFO to the global LFO1 oscillator. This can come in very useful in certain circumstances. Say you need both your chorus effect and another effect to sync to the tempo of your song. Simply change the global tempo to the required BPM, then use this option, the LFO1 sync, when defining the rate for both patches. Your chorus will be auto-synced to the global tempo, as will your other patch. This can save a lot of time fiddling about changing the effects to fit certain tempos. Please change this to taste, but we're simply going to choose a midway effect. The depth knob is simply a percentage amount that defines the amount of detuning. The higher the percentage, the more detuned it becomes. You can hear the painful dissonance fade in and out at 100%, so we'll stick to passive neutrality and select a healthy 50%. Mix selects the ratio of wet and dry, 0% being just the dry signal, with no effect, 50% being a conventional kind of cheesy chorus, and 100% leaving us with more of a vibrato sound, if we choose around 30%. tempo knob is a rather interesting and confusing little sod, but once you realise it's simply there to help lock the timing of the oscillation to the global tempo, it really isn't that bad, and you can forgive it and move on. For example, if the tempo is 120 BPM and we set this tempo knob to a quarter note, then the LFO rate will be 2 Hz. 120 BPM divided by 60 seconds equals 2. So the smaller the fraction, the higher we crank the knob, the more oscillations per second we have. Also, if this knob is a little bit too confusing, we're left with the rather fantastic option to turn it off altogether. We'll set this to half for a pretty standard oscillation sound. Press the page right button to move to the next page. Shocking that. On the next page, we can change simple things such as the volume of the output with the level knob, and panning with the bal knob, short for balance. The next page along from this, we find the advanced settings, where, if you so wish, you can tweak the delay, which is how long before the effect kicks in, the bass or treble response for the wet signal. This volume can be increased or decreased by 12 decibels. Check it out. This is essentially a useful little EQ for the chorus. Now if we scroll down and I'll pick out some of the choice parameters. The LFO type lets us choose between sine or triangle waveforms for the LFO. Check out the difference. Now, sine is the most commonly used waveform for chorus, but feel free to change to triangle if this suits your taste better. The auto depth option gives us a choice between low or high. High gives us a greater maximum depth. We will be leaving this on low, but feel free to turn it off completely. Phase reverse, when turned on, reverses the right channel phase effect and increases the stereo image, so we'll be turning this on. Check out the difference. This is a great way to make wide sounding guitar tones. And you should be able to hear when I play that the effect should sound like it's panning between the left and right channels. Width is another tool which we can change the stereo effect with. This adjusts the delay between the left and right signals for a deeper, lusher chorus effect. 100% will give us a right delay time, which is half that of the left delay time. Check it out. And as I keep playing, I'll take it down to 0%, where they will be equal. To give us a greater stereo image, we're going to take this back up to 100%. And there, we have a completed nirvana tone. With a wide stereo presence, and it works well on lush chords that just scream 80s power ballad. I think Phil Collins and Bon Jovi are going to have a fight over that one. Okay, time to click Store and save the patch. I'm going to move down with the nav buttons to the name section and name it EDAM, since this is seriously cheesy. Now, go back up with the nav button to the location. Find a tone you don't mind saying goodbye to. Then press enter. and when the override preset box comes up, press enter again. Stored. Simple as that. So there, we've gone through the chorus block in the Axe FX. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.